Okay, so got the new fans, well, new fans, the extra fans. These are so I can have fans on both sides, push-pull. And then, not sure if I mentioned this earlier already, but found the long through screws that I can use to, since I'm going to be doubling up on both sides fans, I can use the still mount the radiator and the fans to the case. And the only thing I mention about that is just if you're going to mix and match like I am, is just check the thickness of your fan to make sure, like the most important thing is to make sure it's not too long, because you don't want to puncture one of the water lines or something like that. That would be bad. I mean, that's common sense, but just, just eyeball it, make sure. And then if it looks slightly long, you can always, maybe use some washers, which will, give some extra distance. This one probably doesn't need washers. We'll see when I mount it up. Or the other thing is, keep in mind that you might have the case metal. If it's in between the fans and then the case metal and then the radiator, then you have just a little bit more, like a millimeter or two of that will space them out. So it might give you some leeway to use a little bit longer bolts or screws, whatever they are. The other thing I'm doing is I'm, at the very least, I'm going to reorganize these wires, perhaps. I'm thinking of setting up the fans, as I said earlier, where the cool air is coming in, through the radiator, and then that exhaust air from the radiator is in the case and then pushed out the back. But to do that, I have to flip these fans, and since they got quite the wiring harness going on, I'm going to have to, check to see if that's viable. So I think the easiest thing for me to do is to just undo all these fans, even if I keep them in their original orientation. Since I'm adding fans, I don't know if they're going to be like hooked together and all of it daisy chained together. I don't know. The best way to find that out is we'll just redo the wire setup on this. We'll open up one of these and make sure it has a similar setup. They're supposed to be the same fans, but we're just going to double check that, I guess. Nothing else, just the fan and fan screws. Kind of wiring this one contending with. A similar kind of thing. Now these have longer wires than these, so that might be useful in getting this all worked out, because I was concerned about flipping these over. When it was in its original orientation here, everything was kind of lined up perfect with this wiring harness. But once I flipped it over, it moved the RGB to the other side and then the fan part to this side, and then it made the reach for some of this to be a little bit gnarly, or at least it seemed like that. So I think I got my head wrapped around it a little better, so I'm just going to get the scissors and start clipping these zip ties, which, let's make sure we're only clipping the zip ties. Okay, there we go. So we'll keep the new ones over here. They are going to have much longer wiring, but otherwise it should be the same fan. We're talking about a 12 volt 0.17 amp fan, right? And then the LEDs are 5 volt 0.4 amp. Yep. So these are pretty much the same, just different wiring setup. So just be careful about that. Keep that there. Alright, so let's just go ahead and undo all of this. Alright, so this is going to be the layout that we're going to use. I've decided, I just noticed like this, all of this would be powered just by, well, that's the RGB one, by this, a 4-pin by itself. And I guess that it is designed to power 3 fans, but I don't want to try to power 6 fans with it because it's powering the pump and the 3 fans, and then any other thing you add to it. I don't want to do that. In fact, I was probably not going to power these anyway, but I don't even want to put 4 fans on this. So I'm actually going to drop it down to 2 fans, and then of course it's powering the pump. So 2 fans are going to get powered by this, and then these 2 fans, we're going to, because one of these is one of these that I ordered separately. It has a little bit longer. These 2 are going to plug into the motherboard on the CPU fan header. This one I will plug into an adapter, so it would be like for like a pump style fan header. And then these 2 will do their own thing. They will plug together daisy chain to the CPU optional fan header. And then I will test to see if all of these can, like all 6 can handle the RGB, the LEDs. And if it doesn't, then that won't be as important of a rewiring task as the fans themselves. So we will try to daisy chain all the RGB together on just that. But that way they can all like hopefully sync when I control this through the software or whatever the fuck I use. But this is only going to have to worry about 2 fans, so that should be good. So these I don't need to plug in yet, but I want to leave them there so I don't screw up and undo my plan here. So we'll just go ahead and pop this back on there. And then we'll get the case up here. And we'll just start mounting it together, and hopefully I could do like a fast forward style, whatever that's called, montage thing, where I can just put it together with some fucking badass royalty free music, hopefully. Alright. So doing stuff like this always makes me think of Data from Star Trek. Like if I was Data, man, like we wouldn't need a montage. I could be my own montage. I would just like fast forward through it. That'd be pretty badass. Okay, another thing, you don't want to over torque these. Strip the threads real easy on this. It's very, very soft metal on these things. All right, cool. So let's try to make ourselves some room here. We're going to be using these primarily, but if we need, I have backup ones, hopefully. Let's try to mount this in the case. Let's get this. Again, I just don't want to forget the planned layout that I have here. Okay, let's get the case up here. Oh man. Oh man. Oh god. Hope I didn't break that. Alright. And I didn't even dust it, did I? Let's dust this fucker. Scare the shit out of the dog real quick. Okay. You better come in. I'm about to air dust this shit. Get in here. Let's try to get this turned this way so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to see how much space there is because I'm going to be changing these fans out to the Noctuas as well. So I just want to make sure that I can uninstall this fan easily after putting in this radiator here. Alright, anyway, we got this. It can be unplugged for now. Okay, this also unplugged. Alright, so you just got to remember this one goes with this one. We'll undo all of this. This one goes with this one. Okay, so they're kind of lined up. Boop, boop. Pause it. Damn dog. What the fuck, man? Probably get canceled. So I talk shit to my dog. Alright. This one. Stay right here. Like that. Perfect. Okay. Get all these ready to go. And we'll have some washers just in case. See if we need them or not. Let me check. First, let me check this. Yeah, it seems alright. Probably don't need the washers. Save those for another build. Just about like that. Now, is this in the way? Kinda is, so let's go ahead and do the top fan. The others I can do at a different time. So we're going to go ahead and install the top Chromax fan because it's going to get covered up. Okay. I guess we got to decide what color fucking stuff to use on the damn thing. Okay, so we'll just uninstall this one. What the hell was that? Whoa, that's... Where'd that fucking screw go? The fuck? Those are very short. Okay, well. Man, I'm hoping that the Noctuas rattle less than these. But who knows? Who the fuck knows? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Okay. Now, that's where it goes, huh? Okay, now I gotta find where this is plugged at. Plug it real quick. Where is it? Oh, it's down there. It's a 3-pin. Oh, that's okay, because the plug is big enough for a 4-pin. Alright, that was close. I mean, they don't make any noise just from spinning. So maybe it's a vibration thing or something. I don't know. We shall see. And I still don't know where that other screw went, so I'm going to wait for after I've lifted it up, after I do everything else, then I'll put all the screws. Dude, you can fit through there. Come on now. Don't fuck with me. Okay, so let's see here. Maybe it can't, so we'll do it the other way. Dude, how do you get like so contrapulated or whatever? How do you do that, man? Alright, so. I guess we can do it like that. Let's see. Okay. Go ahead. There we go. We'll just do it like that. That's fine. Not a problem. Okay, and then we'll find the fourth one later, because at least I've got all the ones where they're hard to reach kind of out of the way. Oh, on my back. Ouch. I had a real pinch on the nerve. Oh no, we're in trouble. Ooh, that hurt. Okay, cool. Alright. Now we can carry on what I thought I was going to be doing at this time. Just this part. Okay, so let's do this one first. Alright, cool. And I think I tried to leave it loose enough to slide around. Let me see. Yeah, just a little bit. Ideally, I want it as far this way as possible, but we shall see. Now, I don't know if the motherboard's going to fit in there. Should have checked that first. Now, motherboard is too chunky. It's not going to work. Yep. We're into the shit. That's not going to work at all. Ow, itchy. So, I mean, in all actuality, you're supposed to check this first. But live and learn, man. Damn. Just take that off for a second. Damn. It's too beefy. So, we would have to remove this fan and this fan. And then we would only have double fans here. Right? These would be double. These would be single push through, which is not bad actually. I prefer fans pushing air through, and I would still have these as a push-pull, which is the first area that the liquid gets to in the radiator. We'll save these for another area. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. Not as bad as I thought it would be for this type of a mess up, because all that's happening is that I'm removing. Okay, so we won't need any of these screws. Let's not mix up our screws. Let's put all this away. Okay, cool. This is one of the long wired ones. That's fine. I'm still going to end up doing the wiring them in a certain way, I guess. So there's that. Okay, that's out of our way, right? Okay, so now we'll switch this middle one for a long cabled one. And use the screws that came with this particular radiator set. Oh, it's a buddy over there. Okay, so the short one is gone there. And you just have these two short ones together. Okay. So I'm still gonna crowd it this way. That's pretty good. Yeah. There we go. Now we'll see if the motherboard fits. Should now, but let's just double check. Okay. Should have plenty of clearance here for both, the motherboard itself, but then also like plugging in like the EPS or the CPU power. ATX is right here. But luckily with this case, like a lot of people experience a problem with these sideways plugs on these longer boards. They have to do these sharp turns sometimes, but luckily, depending on how long my cables are, we'll see. I have two options with this case, so hopefully that'll help me manage the cables a little bit better. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, we got this. Boom, boom, boom. As far as anything else goes, it is a little disappointing that I can't do something. Like it's so close, this one. But yeah, it's not lining up. So let me see. No. Let me see. Can you? I mean this. No. That's not gonna work. The only way it would work is if I did some other kind of mount. That would, like, I don't know if there'd be a point. Over here, not at all. Like that's a no-go on this side. This side, maybe I could get away with a, but then, I get in a bind there with plugging things in. There's going to be a lot easier to work with without fans here anyway. So maybe that's, that's the positive part of it. It's still one extra fan. Like, we still got one more fan than what it came with. So that should help a little. Air going this way. That might cause a vortex. I don't know. You know what? Let's use all the long ones on the front, and then we'll save these that have the shorter wiring harnesses will be for the ends once we have everything stretched out. No. I'm going to put myself in a bind if I do that, actually. Because some of these ones on the end are actually going to go to the motherboard. I'm never going to figure this shit out. Let's stop there while I figure out if I should mount it or not.